Good evening, Sham.
Good evening, Malar, and good evening in your nice cozy corner in Gardens at Mid Valley. And I'm calling in from my own, the new corner. So today,
From your own garden.
From my own garden. Yes. How are you?
I'm good. A little bit tired from the day, but it's a good tired because I had a lovely group of people that I worked with today. So I'm energized emotionally. Just physically tired, but done, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's nice when you work with a group that gives you that energy, right? Yes, very nice. I know what you mean. So we have got a guest calling in from Jakarta today, and we're going to have some interesting conversations with her. But before that, let me introduce her, and then we'll dive straight into it. Yep. So our guest has an interesting background in that she's been in HR forever, basically. But she did a shift. She shifted from being in this consulting space, consulting professional services in HR and doing HR in these spaces. And then she moved totally to the other side. It's almost as if she went to, I don't know whether to say the dark side or the good side or the light side, right? We'll let her tell us lah. But she went into that space where she went corporate, right? And she went corporate, not anyhow, any old corporate. She went corporate in a family-owned business. Now, if you know Indonesia, you know family-owned businesses are large behemoths. They are huge conglomerates sometimes, and they have got, they've got presence and they've got power. So let's talk to Sandra Kosasih, who said yes to us, yay! So we have Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia all in one go today. Yeah, let's bring Sandra out. Yeah.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Malar. Hi, Sham. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too again. Thank you for saying yes to us. Yes. And thank you for taking your time off. I know you're busy, time off your busy schedule to talk to us and have a chat around what we're going to talk about today, but I don't want to give away too much. Right. So today, the theme of the month has been talent acquisition. And when we talked to you in our pre-chat, we kind of were looking for what was an angle that we should be talking about, and you gave us that angle, right? So you're very comfortable making big shifts, all right? So before we talk about the shift that you have done just recently, I want to go back to my introduction and talk where I said you shifted from the consulting, the professional services space into corporate, and corporate into, corporate in a family-owned business, right?
Yeah.
So what was your thinking around it, and what were some of the things that you had to do to make that shift? Share that.
Right. Thank you for a funny and lovely introduction earlier. Like that I moved to the dark side. Yeah, so I think the shift to move from multinational and professional services consulting background, to this family-owned business is something because mostly because of the challenge. Yeah. Previously, my last company in PwC, it was only around. It's not actually only, but it's 1,000 people by head count. And then when I moved here, I moved to almost 7,000 head count. So it's 7 times bigger in terms of head count. And in terms of business units, we had in the past only 3 business units: accounting, audit, and advisory. But now in Sinar Maslen, when I started, it was 10 business units, but now it's already 24 business units. So that's by number, it's already more than 10 times. And I think that's the future that I want to be with, a company where it's not getting smaller, but it's getting bigger and it's getting more excitement in here. So that's the reason why I moved to this family-owned business. Yeah.
Okay, so you are a lady after challenges, excitement in challenges, right? In multiples of 7 and multiples of,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, Malay, are you about to say something? No, okay. So what for yourself, right? What were some skills that were there skills that you had to say, okay, now I'm moving into this different space, right? In whatever the sense that different spaces, whether it was an industry, whether it was, a different kind of conglomerate, a different kind of business. What were the skills you said to yourself? These are things that I need to develop if I want to thrive in this new space. And how did you think about it? Yeah.
I think when I moved to this company, Sinar Maslen, the mission was to do transformation. And that's where I think I make myself most useful. If I do only personnel and administration, that would not be interesting. But with the transformation, I develop a lot of cultures, new systems, and with that, I put new system in place, and that's where the company can speed up and grow even further. And that's where I started with 10 business units. 11 years from there, it's already 24 business units. And that means besides being able to grow the company into a bigger, business model, the company also need to have good talent, good people to ensure that they can do the job well, and then they can also grow with the company. I think the topic today is very much in the target where we talk about talent acquisition. How can you get the right people in order to help the company grow and achieve their mission and vision? Because otherwise, it will not grow anywhere. It will not go anywhere. And what can you do as an HR person to make sure that the company can grow where they want to be? So I think that's what my view is. Yeah.
Yeah, so transformation drives you, right? And before the Mala comes on with the next question, I'm just going to say hello to a few people who are with us, and we basically said Hadir. Okay, I'm here. Right?
Hi everyone.
We have Triaji Laharti who has said I'm here, and
Hello.
also
Triaji,
we
thanks
also
for
have
coming.
Dr. Karno
Hello.
Subrata.
My team, Adit. Yeah, nice to have
So,
everyone.
yeah, and then I'm in one more, and we have
Oh,
David. Yeah, so
David.
welcome Welcome everyone. Good to see you all here. And as you come in, Anton, Medianto, also hello, welcome. Be part of the conversations. Put your questions down. Put your comments down. Share that with us, and that will make the conversation even more merrier. Right? Okay. Very good. So Muller, you want to take on the next question, or shall I? Me, okay, because they're cleaning the room there, right? Okay. Okay. So you got us in that mode already, as you said, right? Talent. It's about talent acquisition, getting the right talent that will not just not just that will strengthen the mission and vision, but also ready the group, the people for the next wave, right? For the next wave of development. So so from your experience, given that you've grown the business units, right? From the numbers that you have told, multifold, how do we identify what are the future skills our business needs? And how do you then use that to identify talent? What do you do?
Wow, this is not an easy answer. I think I'm going to start with number one, we need to have the people who are aligned with the same values. So values is number one. We need to, we assess candidates based on the values that we have. So we make sure that they culturally will align with our company. But then, of course, skills. And when you ask me about skills, I think in terms of technical skills, we know we have specs, right? We can put down all these lists. This guy should be an architect, or this guy should be, coming from a property background and all that. But then we need to also ensure I think there are three other important skills. There is agility, and they need to also be they need to have complex problem solution skill. They also need to have a better digital orientation. Yeah. In these days after the pandemic, we all know that everything we do online, including today, this afternoon we do it online. Yeah. But it can reach so many people. So I think these three things: agile, complex problem solving, and also digital orientations are the three things of future skills that we are looking at. Because if you cannot do that, you're not agile, or you're not making problem solving in a complex situation, I don't think it's gonna do a good job in here. Yeah. So I think that's hopefully cover everything.
So, okay, I'm just going to backtrack with. So you're saying these are the future skills, right? And you're looking at agility, you're looking at complex problem solving, and you're looking at digital orientation.
Yeah.
Now, so there's two considerations. One is the talent you want to acquire, right? I guess you can see the sun is coming down. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can see my eye. Half of me is in this gleaming kind of place, right? It's just where I'm sitting, and the sun is deciding to come like that. Okay. So one is talent acquisition. The other is the talent that you already have in-house, right? They're already with you. Yeah. So I'm just going a little bit off tangent, and then I'll pass it on to Muller. So what happens to this talent that's in-house, and I'm going to ask you a very rude question. What happens to them if they don't have these three criteria?
Okay. You throw very difficult question. Yes. Currently almost 50% of our people are millennials, but of course the rest are combination of other generations, right? and this company has been established for 50 years. So we have a combination of people who are not so digital oriented, and the rest, half of them are digital oriented. So, and for the existing, of course, there are steps and gradual movement. Yeah, we use application systems, and we transform into more digital business processes. So gradually we are more into a more of a digital orientation company. So it doesn't matter if you get training, but if you don't do it or it's not on the job, I don't think people will really be digital oriented. Yeah. So, adult learning is 20 20 10. So the 70 part of how they grow is actually on the job. And then the 20 are coming from coaching, and then also 10 from the workshop or seminar or training. But the 70 means that they do it on the job. They create or develop systems that can help their work more digitally. And I mean, like performance management. Can we do it digitally? Yes, we can. Uh, I I use a system that can, help bridge one system to another system. So we don't need to put all the datas and numbers into its individual scoring. And it took the whole room to provide supporting documents. This is true, but now we have no more papers to help with the supporting documents in performance evaluations. That is just one example of how we, really do digital orientation work in the company. Yeah. Because otherwise, it's just a slogan. You want to have these future skills, but you don't do digital. You want to have these people who are agile, but you don't do anything agile. So that's only a slogan. But here we do it. Yeah.
It's like it's bridging, not it's like it's bridging the gap, right? And making sure that everyone has a way of getting onto that skills track. I'm going to just very quickly say hello to people who have joined us. We have Denny Suryana. Thank you for joining us. Arnold A. Hello. Victor Manurong, hello as well. And we have Gerald Fernandez, who's joined us as well as usual. Our what do you call this, fan, if I were to say. And he says people are definitely key to an organization, the right talent. The wrong ones can break a company. What is your process of selection, and what do you look for in a talent these days? Okay. This is interesting because this takes us into that space that you're moving into, right, Sandra? You're moving out from the traditional conventional industry that say SML has been and you moved actually into a new world where it's full of unicorns and big ones, and you're moving in a new space. So maybe we could take it from that direction. Your answer to that question that Gerald asked.
Sure. Thank you, Gerald, for the question. I think in the process of selection, especially now, Sinar Masland has two arms. One is the property arm, and the other one is pretty new, which is called Invite. Invite is Investment International and Technology Emerging. And this is where we are actually pretty new to us, and it's a new challenge because people here are a combination of prop tech, infrastructure, utilities. We also need to fight with startup companies because we are developing this business in a way that we can become beyond property. So when we do selection process, we actually need uh, to involve many people. Like for example, the people we know in startup business will help us to find someone in that business or in that industry, and then we also pretty much have this incubation, yeah, we call the living lab venture. And this living lab venture is also pretty well known in the industry. So this help us to recruit a lot of digital people and technology people, startup people in for our new arm. And with that, we can have an ample amount of good candidates to our new arm. Of course, in the existing property arm, we also still have to find the right ones that have the same values that I mentioned earlier, which align to our values, and also looking at this how they are doing in digital orientation, agility, and also complex problem solving. Yeah, these are the three things that we look in candidates. We don't want someone to bring old kung fu, you know. We want to do new kung fu. We need to be doing new things because now the market is hot, and when the market is hot, we know that we are not going to be easily showing our brand and then they want to come, but we need to fight with our employee value proposition. Maybe you are in the startup, but here you have more security, you have more assurance, you have long-term vision where you can see yourself in a long-term career, and then you can see it's a bigger scope than what you currently is. So that's the thing that we do to attract and get the right people to work in Sinarmas Land. So I hope that helps.
We'll see whether he answers us that
Yeah.
question.
So if he answers, then he's still listening to the answer. We're just being glad to our great supporter Gerald. I don't know whether did
Yeah.
you welcome Luis Marias? He's back. Luis
He's
Marias is
back.
back in action,
Yeah.
back in our life after such a long pause. So these
Yeah.
are our friends who actually come in to support us regularly.
Oh,
Sandra,
hello,
yeah.
Luis.
Less, yeah, and they both have businesses in Jakarta too. So I think
Mm.
they are this today they're joining because of you in Jakarta, right? Now, so Sandra, I just loved how you are helping us to think about being futuristic, right? And you're talking about
Mhm.
agility, complex problem solving, and digital orientation. Now, some
Mhm.
of the unique talent, because when we look at future skills, right, and moving into the future, we're really looking at innovating, either in terms of new products and services, or so we're looking at being innovative. And sometimes the combination of talent that you want, right, uh, may not be readily available in one form,
Yeah,
right? and
right.
and that can be challenging, because in the past, if I'm looking for talent, I know what I'm looking for, and I just look for who has similar experiences, right? But
Mhm.
today, because you're looking at future skills, you're looking at moving forward and say, okay, anticipating what sort of rare combination that I need for us to be
Mhm.
innovative in this space, right? So
Yeah.
how do you manage that in terms of, how do you find unique combinations that that's not normal, that's not
Yeah.
regularly out there, right? In
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
business.
Right. You two ladies are working me up. Tough questions, ladies.
You can hack it.
Yeah,
You can hack it.
we. I think what we can do is focus and prioritize. Yeah, we cannot have everyone, at the same amount of, skills and experience, the exact, background that we need. But we can always find the priority. What is actually most important? Is it the property or the startup background? Is it the maturity or leadership compared to
Mm,
the youth and energy that this person has? So that
Mm.
comes back to the position again. I think as we know, we always need to build something up from what we have and improve from there. So there's no way that we always find the right candidate and then this person can directly assimilate to our culture and then stay with us and grow with us. So there's always a plus minus here. So we need to find what is the priority and we can work from there. So that's something we do every time. I know people can grow and we can learn new things as well. So that's something that we hope our candidates can grow with us and improve in every year. Yeah. So that's my view.
Mm.
Hopefully
nice,
that
nice.
answers you, Malar.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarity. I mean, I think it's basically what you're saying is that look at the needs and see which is the value proposition that people are bringing and see how best it can work for your business. And we may
Yeah.
not find a perfect fit, right? And you're looking for the best fit while you may not find a perfect fit. And you've already put, the importance of, of agility, right? And complex problem solving, right? These things are
Mhm.
important for people to learn and grow. So, which means that
Mm.
while I cannot find the perfect fit, I might find the best fit, and I'm
Yes.
going to now groom my high potentials in the
Mm.
organization so that they value add. Right now, one thing that's running through my head as I listen to you is that, right, when you talk about digital orientation, so chances are, I'm making a generalization here, right? The
Mhm.
younger generation, right, may be more equipped with digital orientation
Mhm.
naturally because of what they're exposed to, what they might be doing, and all of that, right? And then you might have the older generation that probably brings in a different value and doesn't may not be as digitally savvy, right? How
Yeah.
right? And I know you're talking about what is required, and you
Mm.
bring the
Mhm.
combination together, right?
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
had to make a choice for a futuristic business,
Mhm.
if you had to make a choice between someone with digital experience or a digital orientation, and maybe
Mhm.
someone who's got life experience, work
Mhm.
experience, which
Yeah.
might contribute to complex problem solving,
Mhm.
how would you prioritize that? I'm assuming both of them are
Yeah.
agile.
Yeah. So for you remember there are two arms in Sinarmas Land. One is actually property developer, more
Mm.
conventional. We know what's is there residential, commercial, and all that. And the other one is the digital investment and technology based arm. So for me to be able to find the best fit, of course, the property I need to have more people of leadership and experience, problem solving kind of guy. But
Mm,
in terms of the other arm where technology and digital are more in demand, of course I will pick the one that has more digital savviness. And even though it's young or younger, but they have more potential, and we can always make mistakes, but then we work from there, we learn from there. I think everyone makes mistake, and that's okay, we can learn from that. You know that our apps, they have bug fixes, right? Every time they have bug fixes, that means that they learn something, they always improve. And it's not a shame to admit that there are mistakes, but they found bugs and then they fix it. So I think in the other arm where I need to have more people with digital orientation, I will pick the one that has more, knowledge and experience there, even though they're probably younger. But that might be they grow into the position soon. I believe that.
Nice,
I
nice.
love the metaphor bug fixes.
Yeah.
Wow, she's
Sham,
okay
Sham,
digital.
one more
Carry on,
before I
carry
pass
on.
one before I
Yeah.
pass it to. So I think it's very nice that you are able to have two different sets of business,
Mm,
which means that
Mhm.
you would be able to choose one over another, right? Because one
Yeah.
seems more traditional than the other, right?
Mhm,
Now, so
mhm.
you have experience in recruitment in both conventional space and digital space, is what I'm
Mhm.
hearing. So you go accordingly, right? Now,
Yeah.
how, like in your experience, because you've done both, right? How is recruitment in the digital space different from the conventional space for you?
How different in terms of the methods or in terms of candidates?
I think both, right? I think maybe candidates first because the methods would depend on candidates. So I'll go with candidates first.
Okay. By candidates, of course, these people need to be more agile, more digital oriented, and then also looking at probably end to end kind of responsibility. So we need to find the ones that are interested and have that kind of skill sets, yeah, because that will make a good candidate and a good fit uh, people in the company. But again, if you ask me, if I have only one arm, and which is coming from a traditional and going forward to more digital, that's when I will lean on more to the digital background or specifications, because that's where the future is. For every company, sooner or later, they're going there, and maybe they're not the number one person yet. They can be the second layer or the third layer, but these people will drive more into the future uh, kind of company or business. So they're the one that we need to lean on more. So I think that hopefully
Right.
answer your question.
Definitely, definitely, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I think because you've had both, you're very clear whether you want to actually prepare ourselves for future or meeting the current needs. And because you
Yeah.
have both, yeah, it's basically like
Mhm.
the current need
Mhm.
and where the current need is. But I think we cannot take away the digital part from the future because we will all
Yeah.
eventually get there. So the faster we get started, I think the better it is, right? Now, Victor
Yes.
Manu has a
mm,
question. Yeah,
yep.
I'm just going to a question. Now, he says, what is the strategic way to recruit, digital employees when competition is still high in market, and how the SML can make priority between the functions in organization?
Hi, Victor. I call him Vijo. Victor Joe Manurung. Vijo, I think you have a good question here. I mentioned about how I recruit more digital employees. Yeah, I come down to uh, not that I do it myself, but my team go down to see people who are in the industry. We know someone who knows someone in the digital industry, and that's actually help a lot. And then when the competition is still high, I mean, the numbers are big and probably our budget is not there, then we make exception. We need to do that because otherwise we are not able to attract these people. And sometimes you know uh, we don't do it to everyone, not to every candidate, but for certain candidates with specific rare skills, we are willing to do, an extra on the budget. And so that's, I think, the priority on certain position. Yeah, when we really need to do it, we need to do it. Then we have uh, to pay. Yeah, or because otherwise, if we pay peanut, we get monkey, right?
Look at that. Bug fixes, then pay peanuts, we get monkeys. She's on a roll with metaphors today. Okay,
Yeah.
Victor, hopefully you got your answer, but if you didn't or you need some more, please put the follow-up question in chat, yeah, Victor? Okay, Malar has pinged Anton's question.
Hi, Anton.
What is your view regarding future work, and how would you transform and prepare for future?
Yeah. Anton, you give me a hard time here, yeah. So regarding the future work, I think as we go through more technology-based and digital-based kind of work, then it's all about being high-tech, yeah. Sometimes we cannot do it. For example, we still do construction. There is no way you do shortcut by leaving the cement semi-dry, but you really need to do it based on the quality and standards. But future has much more on the technology, so we need to think about how these talents and these jobs going to be affecting our business. Are we still relevant? Do we still exist if we don't change into more future and technology based business model? Yeah, so I think when a company is not changing, I think it's gonna be in the risk of extinction. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that if we don't have new arm in Sinar Masland, I think we are going to be just a property developer. But when we do have a new arm in the investment and technology business, that's where we go beyond property, and that takes probably 20 or 30 more years in this new arm to where we can go further. So I think that's coming down to the vision again. I'm happy that our group CEO, Pak Michael Wijaya, is a visionary man, and he thinks about this a lot ahead of time. And we are so excited to support him in that area. And I think, that will be preparing the future for, business and existence in the future. Yeah, we need to be able to exist in the future.
It's about sustainability, yeah. At the end of and when you're talking about growth, it's not just growth, but it's also sustainability. As you said, that you have to rethink how much of growth you have as an industry or in the conventional business, and see what else do we need to do. I want to go back to a little bit into the past, where you were recruiting and the acquisition was around for the property, and now you've got Invite in the picture, and you've got a new business, right? If I am with SML, I'm with the property, I'm in convention, and I'm looking at these roles in Invite. So I am an employee under the property division, and I'm looking at these roles, and I'm saying, actually, I fit some of those things, right? And as you say, I may not be a perfect fit. I'm a good fit or a best fit. and I put my hand up and I say, Ibu Sandra, I want to be considered for that role in Invite.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you are in the middle and you are looking at this business, and you've got two businesses that you're looking after in terms of talent and making sure that the talent is there to drive the businesses as it should be. What's your thinking? So in terms of someone in SM, in the property, me, Sham, who's there saying, I want to go to the other side. How do you think about that? How do you think about requests like that? Or assuming there's a fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, assuming that.
We let people move from one side to the other side because we don't have all position as digital positions, but I mean digital spec position. We do have people who run the finance, who runs the project, who runs the other than being digitally savvy. So that actually some positions that can go from one side to the other side, and I have already several people who are moving from the property side to the invite, and that's actually something that we need to allow, yeah, because people need to learn new things and they have aspiration, and we need to let them try on their aspiration, and then makes a good balance on the property where they can hire new people, new experience, new perspective, and in invite they have something to bring to the new arm, and it doesn't really start from scratch. Yeah, so I think it's a balance to have people move from property to the invite. Yeah.
It's you also take care of that fit question about values fit and culture fit question.
Yeah.
In a way, it's taken care of. It's answered, right? They have a tick off on that, right? And it makes that decision a little bit easier. Malar, over to you.
Yeah, I want to ask Sandra another question, but before that, I think I will put up Triaji Lahadi's question first,
Oh,
because
okay.
he's come all the way from Indonesia to ask this question about the transformation of digitalization process. What is your opinion regarding the budgeting strategy inside the company? Because in my opinion, sometimes we should be flexible to adjust our future strategy even in rapid time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course we need to be agile. Yes. Now everything changed very fast, and now that we are having a lot of challenges and competition in still in property, it's not easy to sell a house now. People would rather rent, or they would rather stay with the parents. Yeah, but also we need to face the challenge in digital situation. Yeah, digital competition. So of course there's always a justification, but as long as you do the research well, and then do the all the homeworks, make sure every data is available, then I think the group CEO is willing to consider, say, review the budget again, revisit the budget again if it's necessary. Just for an example, we actually have a new portfolio to make a tollway. We never enter tollway development before, but with that, actually a lot of budget are put into that, and that I think the same thing with our digital side. Yeah, we invest in many companies and startups, and we also work together with our partners in Living Lab Ventures. That's where a lot of investment is not probably not coming back into profit in a short time, but it's going to be in a long profitable return. Yeah, So I think there are always a good justification where we can spend our budget into certain priority. Yeah. So I think that's a hopefully answer.
Yeah, triage, I hope it answered the question. But basically, what you're saying is that if you want something, be ready to invest in it, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
invest, then we're not serious about wanting it, because whether
Yeah.
it's time or energy
Yeah.
or money, in this case is budget,
If
right?
there
Yeah,
is no feasibility in there, we are not gonna do it.
yeah.
Mm.
So
Correct.
and that's where you become clearer where you're going to put your money in, right? Because if you
Mhm.
really know that is the future, then you have to invest in the future. Which brings me to a question of when we talk about acquiring talent, right? Or
Mhm.
being future ready, all right? You did say
Mhm.
that you know if not all, for all businesses generally, or generally our life is being transformed digitally. So whether we like it or not, that is the future,
Yes,
right?
of course.
Now, for
Yeah.
businesses that maybe is a bit still a bit in the space of being conventional, still,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that in the future we need to be digital. Now, how much into the future should we look into when we're planning this, right? So how do I know whether I need to be ready next year or 3 years or 5 years down the line? So one is like how
Mm-hmm.
do I know, how do I plan ahead to prepare to be future ready? How do I
Mm-hmm.
plan ahead to be future ready so that I can embrace digitalization and invest in it, right? So how do I think about it?
Yeah. I think when you plan ahead, you actually, at least you start somewhere. And when you think of, I think there are many plans that I was thinking about doing it in 5 years, and then it has to be accelerated within 1 or 2 years because of the speed that happens in the market. And I think everyone should think about that. Yeah, you can make a plan, like a 3 years plan or even more, but then as you see the condition, you probably need to accelerate to now. You have to do it
Mm.
now. So uh, that happens to me several times already. I was thinking about doing this in 5 years, but then I need to do within 2 years time. And so I think the market is never wait for us, but we need to catch up. And probably even though we plan, but sometimes it change, yeah, in the middle. So we need to be able to uh, be flexible and adjust. That's why we need agility in
Right,
people, because
right,
they are the one who can adjust this as soon as possible.
right.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say is that make sure you are doing your pulse check on your business, right? So whatever
Yeah.
you think might be future ready, but
Mm-hmm.
we are receiving feedback from the business and probably our competitors, right? To know
Yeah.
how quickly we need to be
Yes.
future ready, because
Mm-hmm.
you might have thought, oh, I can do this in 3 years, but then either the market feedback from the market, your clients, your
Mm-hmm.
customers,
Mm-hmm.
or from the
Mm-hmm.
competitor shows that they are running faster than you, then you just
Yes.
speed up. So I think that the whole thing is like, do we know our business, and do we have our hands on the pulse check regularly, and whatever regular is, right?
Yeah,
So that's what
there
I'm
are
hearing.
many indicators out there. You can talk to the competitors, you collab with the competitors, and you know where they are and where they're going to. Even now, we don't just um, learn from our industry, but we need to learn from different industry. Sometimes
Mm,
understanding the other industry is going to help us in the future. For
Mm.
example, we never thought that we are going to have, like entertainment park. We never know that we're going to do this, even Silicon Valley. Yeah. But when we see everywhere, I think people are talking about this startup community, this technology, high-tech companies, and other creative industry are in one place, and then, hey, this is probably somewhere we can, look at, yeah. In the past, it's something that we don't really, you probably don't think, oh, I'm just gonna build houses, I'm just gonna build buildings, offices, but then we are the one who own the Silicon Valley. We call digital hub here, and we already have Apple Academy, Traveloka, we have Grab, we have other big names here. They are not only unicorn, but they are megacorn. So we're here, and we are, celebrating this, new thing in BSD area. Probably Charm and Tyler might want to visit me here and see for yourself how is it. And
I would
then
like to see how different it looks now compared to the last trip I did, which was like pre-COVID.
very different, very different.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
different. As I hear you speak about adjusting, like Malur said, having a pulse on what's happening in the market and changing. It doesn't just apply to industries or companies, right, or organizations. If we're talking about talent acquisition, that's a theme for the month. And if I am looking at myself as an individual, as an employee, as a potential leader, as a talent, then I need to also think in the same way that you just mentioned, right? I need to. I might have my 3-year plan or my 5-year plan. I need to have my pulse. I need to be sensitive to what's happening in the market. I need to have a network of people that I can tap on and hear what's happening, and not necessarily from the same space that I'm in. It's also worth having my connections in other spaces, because we're all kind of like impacting each other, right?
Yes.
And moving around, right? So it's not just as HR or as talent acquisition what you guys are looking at. It's the talent also having to think about it in a slightly different way, because I want to make myself relevant to these organizations. As you were talking, that came to mind for me. It works the other way as well, right? It works on the other side as well. Malur, you have the last question for Sandra before we let her off the hook, and then she says, "Yeah, you got difficult questions for me again."
But I can see Sandra's enjoying the difficult questions. It's like,
yes.
bring it to me.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a difficult question, but I'll take this as the last question that we need. I think there's a lot of times, I think, when we talk about transformation, whether it's personal, professional, or organizational transformation, usually we're talking about these transformations like way before it actually happens. Right? Sandra, you okay? Can you hear me? Sandra?
Oh no.
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
The connection is not good.
Okay.
Okay,
we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you now.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, last one before the connection gives you problems.
It's a sign.
It's a sign. Now, so I think very often we can see the future. We talk about the future for a long time, and then but we still don't get ready for some reason. Generally, right? Yeah, that's a trend. So if you look at being digitally savvy or being digitally oriented as businesses, we know that's the future. We knew this many years ago too, right? Now, if you look around in your experience, what is the one factor that makes organizations or leaders procrastinate where digital orientation is concerned? What makes us say, I will do this tomorrow or day after, instead of taking action today? What's the main factor that makes us procrastinate the decision or the investment?
Man, this is, I think, the question of the year, right? Why people or leader procrastinate? Wow. I'm not sure, but I guess they are they fear of failure. Yeah, they fear if they do it, it might not take to fly, but instead it will, crash and close down the company and all that. So there's always, the fear at the back of our mind that if we do it, it takes courage, it takes a risk to start doing something different. But when you are, putting forward your vision, it will bring you to a higher level, and that's where people are gonna pass through the challenges and succeed. Yeah. So if people are staying at the, failure fear, they're not going anywhere. Jack Ma said that people, uh, when they are struggling, for day one, they don't see the sun is shining. Second day, they also don't see the sun is shining. And on the third day, they give up. But actually, on the fourth day, the sun is shining. So sometimes people stop before they see there is, the light at the end of the tunnel. But when they keep doing it, they might be, be successful, right? But they don't know that. That's why people stop or they procrastinate. I'm not going to do it because I don't think I can do it. And that's takes a lot of courage to be able to move forward, yeah, push forward with the agenda or with the change transformation. I hope that answers.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, I think you have actually told us something really, really important, right? Because again, another metaphor of light at the end of the tunnel, right? We know that we know to come out to a better place, we need to go through the tunnel. But
Yes.
whether you're going to lead, because we are in a series called Leadership Insights, right? And
Mhm,
Leadership in Flow,
mhm.
uh, who are leaders? Leaders are the ones who walk ahead, right?
Yes.
And in this case, if it is a space that other people have not walked, it
Mhm.
is the street or the tunnel is not lighted up yet. And what
Yeah.
we need is, because we don't know what's coming up, because we can't see enough, right? It's not
No.
visible, right? And what
No.
you're saying is that this is when that's the fear we are talking about. Yeah, on
Yeah.
one hand, if I do well, I'll fly. On the other hand, I might crash. And
Right.
which choice I'm making, and the choice I make to fly, to take the risk, actually involves courage. and
Right.
and if you, the faster you find the courage as a leader to do that, then we can fly and be a market leader. But what
Yeah.
I really liked about courage is not, you're not talking about blind courage. You're asking us to
Mhm.
think about, really, as a leader, do you have a vision, right? And does your
Mhm.
vision require us to do something differently to lead in the market? And if it
Yes.
requires you, then can your courage be greater than your fear? You can't
Yeah.
eliminate fear, but can it be greater than the fear? Which is
Yeah.
why I think all the things that you said about, if we want to overcome our fear, which is
Mhm.
normal, right?
Mhm.
I think it is where, how do we prepare our lights along the tunnel? Maybe, and this is where the talent acquisition comes in. Getting
Mhm.
people from a different industry comes in,
Yep.
getting different
Mhm.
combination and thinking out of the box comes in. So while it may not be totally dark, we have got some light to know that I may not fly, but I will not crash. But so let's give
Yeah.
this a shot. So
Yeah.
I thought that's like a lot of wisdom, and I like the fact that you think it's the question of the year. Thank you,
I hope
thank you,
I get the
Sandra.
present of the year.
Yeah, question of the year. So I just think it's really, fantastic. It's been really one good hour of learning how you combine, conventional methods with, digitalization, right? And
Mhm.
how you think about, what are the factors you think about when you're making the right choice, for your mission, for your vision, incorporating the values and being clear. I think as a leader, what do we really, really want and why we want it? And while the
Mhm.
world is not a perfect place and you may not be able to find your perfect talent, you're looking you shared with us how to find your best fit, how to take the risk, and how to take calculated risk in terms
Mhm.
of taking talent who may not exist because it's future ready, they may not exist. How do you think through your own future business, and how do you look for the right combination of talent, either in terms of experience or in terms of skill? And you've made it very, very clear that values and culture is not something we would compromise. So,
Mm.
I think there was a lot of golden nuggets. Thank you very much, Sandra, for saying yes to us and
Sure.
answering, the question of the year and many other difficult questions that she threw at you.
I'm glad that you're happy with your question. I hope you are all happy with my my answers. And I
You're
really had a
definitely,
good time
yeah, very
All
good,
right.
brilliant.
Sandra,
All
before we
right.
say goodbye, is there anything else you'd like to leave the audience with, especially all your fan club who have come and listened,
Yes.
contributed so much,
there.
Darwin, Triaji, Indra, Anton, Victor, Alvin,
Wow.
Juliana, Jenny,
Mm.
Arnold,
Oh,
Arif,
wow. All the
wow,
familiar names.
David, yeah, Karno, Priamdo. Yeah, that's
Okay.
that. So your whole clan is here to listen to what you've got to say. So definitely, is there anything else you like to say to them and the audience who might be listening later?
I think to close with my boring answers. I think in order to exist, we need to be relevant, and in order to be relevant, we need to be courageous. Because if we don't have the courage to start something different, we won't be anywhere in the future. Because in the future, it will take a lot of courage. It's the new frontier, right? In the new frontier, you need to have courage, whether you can see something in small light or a little light, but then if you can have a vision that I need to go across the black hole, for example, or somewhere, then you will go there, and then you will succeed and come out successful at the other end. I think that's to wrap up my answer.
Very
Thank you,
nice.
Sandra. We shall quote you from now onwards. Yeah. To exist, be relevant, and to be relevant, be courageous. And while
Just,
you're courageous, you need to walk through the dark tunnel.
yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
To be heading in the change frontier of change. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she walks the talk. Huh? She said at the start she moved because it's about transformation, and I want to deal with transformation.
I
Love
have to say this before we say, Diana says, I'm here also. Yes, we
Oh,
have
then
told Sandra you're here also. So with
she's
that,
yeah, she's in SML.
that. There you go.
nice. With that, Sandra, thank you for saying yes to us. Thank you for staying with us, and
Yeah.
thank you for bringing your whole clan to actually support, listen to the show. So with that,
Yeah.
I think,
My
Sham, are you
pleasure.
ready to say goodbye to Sandra?
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you. Good night. As
Good
we
night.
say bye to Sandra, wow, that was like interesting, very interesting,
Yeah.
helping us to think out of the box, right? So
Mm.
Sham, another Thursday, and it's almost the end of the month. Can you believe it? We started off with talent acquisition, and we've looked at three different speakers who gave us three complementing, differing part of talent acquisition. It's been a
Mm.
rich month, I must
Richmond.
say, very
I
rich
agree.
month.
Agree.
Yes. All right. And as we say goodbye, I hope the timing is working better for people. Give us some feedback. We this is the first month we've tried at 6 o'clock. For those who have missed and you want to catch up, you can catch this up either on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or
Oh,
Spotify later.
yes.
With that,
On that.
this on that note, this is Malar from Hearts and Minds Development Center signing off from Mid Valley, and
And this is Shavini from Be in Clarity in Singapore signing off for this week. See you again next week. Bye bye, everyone.
all right. Thank you. See you. Bye.